Shalom. Before I begin this video, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakodash. Also, as well, double honors to the apostles and the others, a great millstone that continue to roll very well to this very day, that is feeding the flock through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. And also, as well, shalom to the whole elect that's continually laboring this work, and also labor to show for your diligence to make your calling and election sure, in faith, in truth, sincerity, and also in all charity. All right, and the topic of this video is going to be entitled, Put Off the Weak Nature, okay? Because the times that we're about to enter into are going to be absolute turbulent times. You know, the times that we're about to come into is deemed in the scriptures in Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 7, as Jacob's trouble. And you see that's brewing right now with the shortages that are happening around the world. And then you have, warnings of blackouts that's going to take place. And, you know, the people that are here, especially the men of our nation, which are you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you know, that you see the mentality of, our people. Their mentality is weak, man. All right, it's weak because, they can't deal, or they'd rather not deal with, should I say, the real world issues, and taking the necessary steps to preserve their lives, in which the avenue to do that is turning back to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, our true power, okay, which has been kept away from us for a certain time, due to us going off, transgressing the words of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Now we're being brought back into his good graces, all right? But, the times that we're in right now, it calls for the men of the Lord to be here, man, because the men of the Lord, our minds are fortified, okay? And that's through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, okay? How do we know that? Well, case in point, Isaiah chapter 33, verse 6, all right? Wisdom and knowledge being the stability of thy times, all right? And stability represents strength, okay? So this is where our power comes from, man, okay? But not just that, it also, again, like I said earlier, it fortifies our minds, because, man, in the times that we're in right now, man, there's no time to be weak in this thing, man, There's no time to be, weak-minded, because that is not acceptable in this time. That's not acceptable in the sight of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. No, that when he spoke to Job, what did he tell him? He said, gird up thy loins like a man, okay? And that's the same sentiment for the body, to gird up our loins, okay? Because like I said, the time we're about to enter into are going to call for the true men, all right, to rise up, all right, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, okay, and be, like the scriptures say, the man who was compared to a golden wedge of Ophir, okay? So, again, and like I said, you can see a stark difference between, the men of the Lord and the rest of our nation, because they're gullible, man. Now they're being reduced to what's going on? Now they're being reduced to being, their minds are being reduced to being women, man. Because why? Because they've been raised by their mothers, and they really haven't had, like a strong, father figure in the house, and that's one of the curses, that the man and the woman, or the husband and the wife, is going to be at odds with each other, and you're seeing the result of that, and it also lets you know that when it comes to the things which are written, those things fit nobody else but us. And when you read through what happened to us, you read Deuteronomy 28, verse 15 on down, it's like reading a novel of what we went through, all right, and what we're going through today, okay? But again, not to stray too far for our topic, it's no time to be weak, man. All right, this is not the time. We are not dealing with that right now. Okay, that's why the Spirit got on the brothers to post a video with the Apostle El Tahar, and which is a fiery video, man. Basically, saying, Apostle El Tahar saying, look, man, we are not going to be dealing with anyone who's weak, man, or weak-minded. Okay, this is only for the ones who are who has all the screws, for lack of a better term, who has the screws all tight, all right, in the head. Okay. But I'm gonna go ahead and hop to the precepts. I'm not gonna make this video too long. First, I want to grab 2nd Esdras chapter 14, and this is at I'm gonna start at verse 13. All right. So again, this is 2nd Esdras chapter 14. This is at verse 13. It says, now, therefore, set thine house in order, and reprove thy people. Comfort such as them as be in trouble, and now renounce corruption. All right. So, and that's what the men of the Lord are doing today. We're getting our houses in order, man. Because why? Because we're about to enter into troubling times. Okay. We're about to go into a phase to where our people are going to lose their, like it says in the book of Isaiah, chapter 30, where their iniquity shall be compared to a breach ready to fall. All right. And as a house, another one was a house is destroyed. Okay. And that's why there's another scripture that speaks about, the ones that built their house on a stone or a rock versus the ones that built their house on sand, and the ones that built their house on sand, it crumbled, it was destroyed. And actually, let me see if I can get that. I just type in the word sand. Yep. So it's the book of Matthew chapter 7, and this at verse, I'm gonna get straight to the point. It's at verse 26. It says, and everyone that heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them not shall be likened unto a foolish man, which built his house upon the sand. See that? So they hear these words, right? They hear the words of Yahweh Bashmi Al-Shai. They hear this truth, man. All right. And they hear the warnings that we're given, but they're not taking heed to them. So these individuals are going to be compared to foolish men who built that house on sand. All right. And that sand represents instability. Okay. And like I mentioned earlier, stability, pursuant to Isaiah chapter 33, verse 6, it's the wisdom and knowledge is our stability, man. But wisdom and knowledge of what? Wisdom and knowledge of Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai. Okay. That's the wisdom that we're standing on, and that is our stability. But the wisdom and knowledge that they have, which is according to this world, is compared to sand. It's unstable. Why? Because these things are not going to benefit them in the long run. It's not going to benefit them as far as having a hedge put over you during the times of trouble, which we're entering into. Okay. So reading on verse 27, it says, and the rain descended and the floods came. Right. What's that represent? Talking about those troops, man. Right. Because it's going to get to a point in time where they're going to, just deploy these troops. All right. To police the streets, to police the people. Okay. Because these people, you've been seeing more uproars of the people. Okay. More riots, more protests, going on. People are getting even more active, so to speak, when it comes to what's going on in this current society, and that's why you have the storming of the Capitol building. What was that? 2 years ago? I think it's last year or 2 years ago. Okay. And that's what it's coming to. Okay. But continue on, it says, and beat upon that house, right, what they built. Okay. And it fell. And great. See that? and great was the fall of it. All right, so and that's what is going to happen in the time to come, especially with this current kingdom, which is America. All right, it was built as Babylon the Great. Okay, and guess what? It's going to have a great fall, and these people are going to fall right along with it. That's why I mentioned on Isaiah, the 30th chapter, where it speaks about this breach being ready to fall. All right, which breaking comes suddenly. Okay, but let me go back. Yep. So back in 2nd Ezra chapter 14, verse 14, it says, "Let go from the mortal thoughts, cast away the burdens of man, put off now the weak nature, and set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, and haste thee to flee from these times." All right. So now we put that's a commandment, man. All right, to put off the weak nature. And what's a form of doing that? Putting off the old man, which was weak. Okay. And put on the new man, which which has strength in Yahweh Ba'ashim El Shai. All right, strength from our power. Okay. And like it says here as well, it says set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee. All right, what are the thoughts that it's talking about? All right, deliverance. Okay, deliverance. Being protected in the times of trouble. We're coming to the like it says in Revelation chapter 3, verse 10. The hour of temptation. Okay, so these are the things, these are the thoughts that are heavy, man. All right, what's about to take place in the future. Okay, why? Because these things are dealing with reality. These are real world occurrences, man. All right, and you see it unfolding before your very eyes, man. Okay, but I'm gonna read this last verse. It says, "For yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter." Okay, so I'm gonna move on from there and grab this last precept. This is the book of 1 Peter, chapter 1, and go down just a little bit. Here it is, 1 Peter chapter 1. This is at verse 13. It says, "Wherefore gird up the loins of your mind." See that? Gird up the loins of your mind. All right, and that also trickles, or the effects of doing that, the rest, everything else is going to fall into place, so to speak. Okay, when you first gird up the loins of your mind, because that's where everything starts. It starts within your mind. All right, that's why it's a fact that your mind houses the spirit. Okay, that's why you have a part of the brain which is called the pineal gland, which is deemed or termed as the house, where the spirit dwells. Okay, but like it says here, wherefore gird up the loins of your mind, right, so that everything else, or you can benefit from that, right, so to speak. It says, "Be sober and hope to the end for the grace that is brought unto you at the revelation of Yahweh Shai and Mashiach." And we're in the time of that. Okay, we're in the time of the revealings. Okay, and and after all these things are done, which are written, that's when our Lord is going to make his grand entrance. All right, and to throw down, and to break down, to destroy. All right, and to deliver and to save. Okay, so with that, I'm going to go ahead and close out on that note. Lord's will, this is edifying to the elect of the nation of Israel. Until next time, once again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashim El Shai, Ba'ashim Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. They continue to rule very well to this very day. And also, Shalom, peace and safety, salutations to the hopeful elect, continuing to labor in his work, and labor to show for your diligence to make your calling and election sure, in faith, in truth and sincerity, and also in all charity. And with that, I'm going to say shalom.